What's up, YouTube? It's Elijah the Hero, and today we are talking about Hogwarts Legacy. I really haven't been covering this on my channel, but since I got the game early, I've been playing it, and I'm here to tell you my thoughts. Now, I know you read the title, but let me just give you a little bit of information about that. I know nothing about Harry Potter. I know nothing about the world, nothing about the story, nothing about Fantastical Beasts. I never was into Harry Potter and I know nothing about it. So this review is coming from a person that has not prior knowledge about Harry Potter, so I have nothing to really compare it to. This is just going to be a review strictly about the game Hogwarts Legacy itself and not really how it, handles the Harry Potter name. So if you're looking for a review from somebody who knows nothing about Harry Potter and is just reviewing it from a game standpoint, you've come to the right place. With that all being said, let's get into the review of Hogwarts Legacy. Starting off this review, I want to talk about the character creation because that's where the game starts, with you getting your letter to Hogwarts and you creating your own character. You can either create a wizard or witch. So there are no gender rules. I know a lot of people are upset about the whole J.K. Rowling thing. I'm not going to speak too much about that. But, you can create any kind of gender you want. There's nothing limiting you. I do feel like the character creation overall, though, is a little bit limiting, and I wish there was more. I do like the kind of hairstyles that they have. I do appreciate that they have black hairstyles because that's something we don't get in video games that often. But I do feel like it was more limiting than anything. You could pick your face and then you couldn't really customize it that much. You could customize the hair, your eyes, the way your character spoke, which I did not like because I felt like it was just one voice actor and you can just change the pitch of that voice actor, and not like, Saints Row where they have 3 different voices and then Nolan North if you want to pick those voices. No, there's only one voice you could pick for the male, and you can use a pitch meter to change the pitch, make it higher, make it lower, whatever your preference is. I made mine's a deeper voice, but he still kind of sounds a little soft voice. It's okay. I feel like they could have maybe made it a little bit better. I was kind of expecting something more of the Saints Row-ish kind of character creator from the reboot. That was the only thing good that came out of that game. I was kind of expecting a copy-paste of that, but other than that, it was pretty decent. Next, I want to talk about the story of Hogwarts Legacy. I'm not gonna lie, the opening of this game was fire. One of the best openings I've played in a video game. It was so good. But then it slowed down a lot right after that. There is a lot of talking in this game, so be prepared for that. There is a lot of talking and dialogue. I wouldn't say it's in the vein of Metal Gear Solid or even Kingdom Hearts, but it's kind of like a midway point between those two. There is just so much talking, and the story kind of goes on a halt after the opening. I do feel like it kind of slowed down a little bit, but it does pick back up in the middle. What you're mainly going to be doing is, solving a case with your professor. You can see ancient magic in this game, and that plays a big role into unlocking the secret that could basically change the wizarding world, and you were the key. So there are people after you, and that's all I'm going to say about the story without getting into spoiler territory. But most of the time you will spend your time in Hogwarts, and you'll go to class, learn different spells. That aspect of the game was cool. I do like how they tied in, your skill tree and learning new spells into your actual classes. And you don't just have classes learning new spells. You have classes that teach you to defend against the dark arts, classes that teach you how to plant, classes that teach you how to do potions, and classes that teach you how to use unique spells that, will help you out through the game. And I thought that aspect of the classes were actually really cool, and it feels like, you're going to Hogwarts. It gives you this experience that I feel like you can only get in this game if you are a Harry Potter fan, or not even a Harry Potter fan, if you just enjoy traditional RPGs. It gives you that sense. It's actually really cool and really well done. And speaking of Hogwarts, we can start talking about the world of this game and how does it really make you feel like you're in the wizarding world? And I have to say, yes, it nails that. You can definitely tell that the devs love the game that they're making, and you can feel it with every place that you step inside this world. And to make that world feel a little bit bigger, I would recommend that you download the Harry Potter fan club app and create an account, answer the questions, and then link your account to Hogwarts Legacy so that you can already be sorted before you get there. You can know what your wand's going to be like, and know what your character is basically going to play like and how you're going to fit into this world. It's a really great thing, and I think you should link it. Typically I don't link my accounts to things like that unless there's like a skin I want, but I would highly recommend that you do that before you play the game. And now, speaking of the actual game in the game world, hands down, Hogwarts Legacy has to be one of the most immersive video game worlds that I've ever been into. Hogwarts itself has to be one of the most detailed interiors that I've ever seen in a game. There is constantly something going on. It feels so lively. It's giving me like the feels of Saints Row 2, where there's just people doing yoga and the malls was filled. But in this game, like the paintings are always looking at you, the student armors are always talking, there's humming statues, there's ghosts running around trying to chop off another ghost's head, there's imps flying around. There's just so much going on. There's like times I literally just stop in the game and just look around, and there are fast travel points in the game, but honestly I hardly use them because I want to run around and see what else I discovered. There's always some secret, something to be discovered in Hogwarts. And then when you go outside of Hogwarts, the map is huge. There is a lot to do, and the further you get away from Hogwarts, the more dangerous it becomes. And you fight trolls, different enemies, giants, different monsters. There's dark wizards out to get you, and it just feels nice and detailed and not empty. It's been a while since there's been an open world where I just enjoyed it this much. I think the last open world I enjoyed was Spider-Man's New York City, and this just blows that out of the water. They deserve a round of applause because I've never seen a game world this immersive in the years I've been playing video games. Now let's talk about the elephant in the room. I know there was a leaked early kind of hours into the game with a boss fight, and a lot of people were saying that the Hogwarts Legacy combat is boring and dull. Well, I will say yes, and that is because you're only in the first couple hours of the game. There's 16 spells in total, I believe. That's how much I count it. And in the beginning, you only have access to about 4 of those spells. So yeah, the combat does look boring for where at that point they showed the gameplay, but the combat involves so much down the road, and it gets such great combat moments. And I feel like if you can just slug through that part, you're looking at one of the probably best combat systems I've had in years. It is kind of similar to Arkham type of combat. You have your triangle to kind of counter and parry people's blasts. There are different colors, and those color variations are what you're going to use to either take somebody's defense down or take something away from them, and so you can free them up to attacks. I don't think the combat is boring per se. I just think it's pretty sluggish in the beginning. Even I had fun with it in the beginning, but it does start to grow and it does start to get better. There's so many spells that you kind of start losing track of what you have. You can set 4 loadouts, but I wish you could do more because there's just so much spells. And yes, you can lurk dark magics and forbidden magics. You can't use them on students though in like the underground cross wands fights, but you can use them on different enemies. You even have ancient magic that you can use that are kind of specials, or basically like one shots or take a lot of health away from enemies that you're fighting. But I think the combat is fun. I do think it has its problems. It is slow paced in the beginning. I do feel like sometimes there's too much going on and it is hard to target one particular character, but that's kind of the problems with most combat situations in video games. I do feel like the camera can kind of mess you up a little bit, but it's nothing that I haven't seen before. I do think it does hold its own, and I do think it's a great combat system. And with all that being said, I can finally give my final thoughts about Hogwarts Legacy. Honestly, I didn't really run into that many glitches, and that is crazy coming, within the years that we've had where, we've had things like Cyberpunk, Saints Row, and just game after game with bugs and glitches. But honestly, this game is well optimized. They do have slight loading screens when you're coming out of Hogwarts. You open doors in the game, so there's no like X to open the door or hold X to open the door. You just walk through the door. There's like a little loading indicator, and your character just stands in front of the door, and then they walk out. But it's kind of like a split second, and it's noticeable, but it's small and not that long. And then when you're flying around in Hogwarts, sometimes the game does kind of have to chug to keep up, but that's not really that noticeable. But other than those are I haven't seen any glitches or any game-breaking glitches. You know, there's a few clip-ins with their cloaks every once in a while, but nothing game-breaking, nothing crazy or anything like that. This is a well put together game, and honestly, I feel like Hogwarts or the developers should get your money just for that, because we do not get games like that anymore. You know, they always patch it after the game is out. 3 months later, we're going to patch the game. This is a complete package. You know, people always say, I wish we could go back to times where games worked day one. Well, this is one of those games. And, you know, if you want games like this to keep coming out, you need to support developers like this and push them upward and put them kind of on a pedestal, I guess. But this is a complete game, a complete package. I have more likes than dislikes. Honestly, I feel like the dislikes that I have for the game are just nitpicking at this point. This is a great game, and I feel like it is early contender for Game of the Year. I have not had a game make me feel this way since Ghost of Tsushima came out, and that is saying something, because there's only a few games where I'm like, you know, this is a 10 out of 10, because I don't really think any game is perfect besides, you know, Ghost of Tsushima and Spider-Man, but this is a perfect game. I truly never cared about Harry Potter and never really understood the hype, but after playing this game, I want to, you know, explore this world more. I'm going to watch the movies. I'm probably even going to pick up the books. They have sold me and turned me into a Harry Potter fan. I think this game deserves your full money. This is a 10 out of 10 game, and I never thought I would say that about any game coming out in this kind of lifetime. But yes, this is a 10 out of 10. I do think you should run and go get Hogwarts Legacy. It is a phenomenal game, and that is my opinion. And you know, you don't have to agree with that, but that's my opinion. I think this is a 10 out of 10 game. But you know, let me know what you think in the comment section below. Are you going to be picking up Hogwarts Legacy? If you do, let me know what you're going to be doing. I do kind of wish there was a multiplayer in the game, but I understand why they didn't do that. I do love single player games, so I don't really mind. And who knows, they could always add one later down the line. But this is a great game, and guys, I'm telling you, go pick this up. You will not be disappointed. But I've been Elijah the Hero. Peace. Thanks for watching the video. Like, comment, and subscribe. Push the notification bell to be notified for new videos. And remember, have a great day.